Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is May the 11th, 2026. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, well, I'm still doing pretty good. Sorry. I realized as I was kind of wrapping up my post production, doing all this stuff, I just had like this lightning bolt thought hit me. I was like, Isaiah, you didn't finish the whole episode. You didn't finish your news queue. I'm sure longtime listeners are gonna peep like, hey, you only did like two stories and he deuced out. Like, that's odd. Yeah, I don't know. Call it a case of the Mondays. I don't know. But hey, I had one more story that I wanted to cover. So let's just call this a part two. And we'll do a whole little startup and close out, if you will, last break, whatever. And yeah, all's well that ends well. All right, cool. All right. From the Associated Press. Bright lights and hot orbs. UFO files shed light on sightings but leave interpretation to the public. Buzz Aldrin observing a fairly bright light source while aboard the Apollo 11, a mysterious object making multiple 90-degree turns at a speedy clip, a blaringly bright object doing corkscrew twists over the skies in Kazakhstan. Those are some of the details in a new batch of files on UFOs that the Pentagon began releasing on Friday as President Donald Trump taps into the public's long-held curiosities about unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAP, in the broader universe. Though the Pentagon has been working on declassifying the documents for years, Trump put attention back on the topic months ago by teasing a major UFO document dump. Whereas previous administrations have failed to be transparent on this subject, with these new documents and videos, the people can decide for themselves. What the hell is going on? Have fun and enjoy. Trump wrote Friday in a True Social post. And I will say, I've said this before, I do kind of like when like Trump goes grandpa mode and just like starts talking like that. I don't know. It's like it's like, hey, at least you can almost close and just like maybe he's just like my demented old grandpa, and this is all just gonna be a dream. Nope, he's our president. He's the commander in chief. Awesome, love that. But yeah, no, disclosure. I don't know. It's interesting. You get to see more photos. I'll go ahead and read a little bit more. Trump's Republican administration says the public can draw its own conclusions with the information in the files, which includes old State Department cables, FBI documents, and transcripts from NASA of crewed flights into space, a new Pentagon website housing the documents on UAPs has a decidedly retro feel, with black and white military imagery of flying objects displayed prominently on the page, with statements displayed in typewriter-like font. And I will say, it does kind of look cool. Maybe one of the few things that they've rolled out as an administration, especially just website-wise, that actually is, one, functional, at least from what I've seen, and two, actually looks pretty good. So there you go. Definitely ran better than the whole Epstein files release. But that's a whole other thing. Let's see here. They go through a lot more of the details, a lot of highlights. Some are actually stories that I was surprised. I'm like, oh, I feel like I've heard this before. Just because I've listened to a lot of last podcasts on the left, and I feel like a lot of these stories have been talked about before, and now we're just getting more details with some of these releases and stuff like that, but also obviously news stories in general that I think the people maybe have not heard of. I don't know. So overall interesting. I would say, does this make me more of a believer? No, not me personally, but I do find it interesting. I think that having more disclosure in general like this is good. I mean, I know people can debate and say, oh, well, they're just trying to flood the zone. They're just giving up a bunch of useless information, or even some of the stuff we've already known and talked about. So like, what is it really? What is it distracting you from, bro? And I'm like, look, man, when it comes to space, I'm down for it. Let's go. I think with these, UAPs, UFOs, whatever, terminology you want to use, I will say it's interesting whenever I hear like a pilot, someone in the military, someone in NASA actually say, hey, I looked out in the sky and I saw like this orb thing, and that was weird. I saw this tic-tacky looking thing, and it was strange. Like, I saw this thing, and it was literally, like, I could see it was heat. Heat was emanating from it. Like, that shit was bizarre, and I couldn't identify what the hell it was. Now, granted, in a lot of these situations, you have to put the asterisk. Most likely, it's just a military thing that that person didn't know about, that they're talking about in terms of, like, in that moment, they just didn't know. They're seeing some things that they've never seen before. And it's like, well, yeah, they're in the military. It's like, yeah, that doesn't mean they knew about that random ticky-tacky looking thing. Who knows? Or it could be from another country, foreign, situation. Who knows? So obviously the jury's still going to be out on each and every one of these documents and or pictures, what have you. But still cool to see. I still think it's interesting. I would prefer my government to show me these things more readily as opposed to hiding them, keeping them secret. Right? So yeah. Well, that's really kind of all we have. I guess we will do a little closeout, and I won't shill. We already did that in the previous. But yeah, no, mea culpa. I guess I can close out with what did I have for dinner tonight? I made chicken and pasta. I would say the age of the slop bowl still continues. I use like a marinara and pesto base, and then I just put on some like salad greens, and then carrots, and then I put on some chicken, and then and this is where I guess it gets weirder. Then I put on like soy sauce and stuff like that. But I will say with the marinara base, I mixed in some of that spicy chili paste. So I mean that was good. Chili oil, chili paste, whatever. Needless to say, it all came together. It was very yummy. All right, let's do this last break, and then we'll say goodbye. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.